What's up, everyone? How's it going? Welcome to today's trade recap slash market analysis episode. Today is Wednesday, July 30th, FOMC day, and we were able to take a grand total of two trades today. One of them was a long around here. No, not around there. I meant around here, which failed. And another one was a short there that succeeded, but we had to take profits early simply because of some psychological reasons, which we'll go over here today. So this week has not been the greatest week. We're not really down this week at all. We've been winning these last 2 days by a little bit, but although we've been winning, the quality of our trades that we're taking are not good at all. They're not how we want them to be for proper sustainability in this market, right? We need to ensure that each and every trade we're taking follows with follows and adheres to our system. And if we don't do that, it's not going to allow for sustainability. You can't even pass a prop from account if you do these type of things. That's why today we did improve a little bit from day before yesterday, and we didn't lose anything really from these last 2 days. But yeah, let's just go over this entire market. As you can see, today was FOMC at 1, but we had crude oil inventories and Bank of Canada press conference at 9:30, crude oil inventories and pending home sales, as well as this overnight rate at 8:45, 9, and 9:30. We just took an interval avoiding those news releases. So let's get into the overall larger larger picture of things on the market, right? So essentially it was pretty simple, right? We have levels towards the upside, levels towards the downside. We did some more analysis on that as well. But currently we're trending towards the downside, but we're also trending towards the upside on a higher time frame. So we're stuck in a position today where we were trying to find where the market wants to head to next. And that's how it's been yesterday and today, right? Yesterday and today, market was trying to figure out where it wanted to go. We're sitting between this relatively tight range, just moving. We haven't gotten anywhere. Places where we've gotten somewhere are in overnight sessions. I mean, on Monday, we were heading down, but that was essentially just filling this gap. We simply rebalanced after that, placing within the range as well. So this week in particular was a different type of market condition that we are personally not used to. And it made it quite difficult to identify different things. Especially yesterday and today, we're sitting within this range right here, especially today, right? Today, coming into market open, we were sitting between this upper 6415 region and 6405 region, right? And those are levels on Bookmap as well as a cover, right? This was a region that I wanted to see if we break out towards the upside, right, with significance and show continuation signs, we might be able to carry a long day. Or let's say we see reaction for either one of these levels. Maybe we can take a long or short play from a reaction. If we break down below, maybe we can take continuation on the shorts. That's how we wanted to play out the day, and we had to be really patient to do so. As you see on this 15-minute, until 9:15, it was quite literally wick heaven. Like, just take a look at that. But yeah, let's enough for pre-market game plan. Let's talk about what actually happened today. 3 hours 30 minutes. This is market open. And as you see in market open, we have built that range, right? And you can see this. Okay, I don't want to be seeing Mr. Beast right now. Alright. So what we see is that this level has this is a key area of passive sellers. 6415 and 6417. You'll later see that the 6417 area does get spoofed out, but we have this 6405 level that did hold price. Price showed selling reaction towards the downside, but what's it called? Buyers were able to hold up passive buyers, and there wasn't really much interest below that point. We came down towards the 6405 area and we only put 14 sell contracts in there, nothing more than that. It's simply that aggressive buyers likely rebalance the price upwards, positioning lots of volume near this location, which can clearly be seen right there. Now, as we're going, we're still within this range. We don't necessarily want to take any trades yet because we're sitting in this range. I mean, if I see anything right now that I may have missed in the morning, we can definitely use that to our advantage for learning purposes and keeping track of things in an analytical perspective, right? But we came up to that region and you start seeing very aggressive selling come into the market. But once again, if we take a look at, what am I looking at there? If you take a look at that, that was a region where over here we saw buying likely get absorbed at that region, sellers flush towards the downside. But once again, we have this 6405 level and even that 6407.5 level. And we come to that 6407.5 level and we continue to break down. And here, we did see a very key aggressive passive seller enter into the market. If we had found that, we had noticed absorption at that area, and then started making aggressive selling reaction, we likely could have taken shorts targeting this 6405 level. But as you can see, we don't really do such. Come down, show seller absorption here, right? You can visibly see sort of seller absorption here. Large volume, large stacked seller aggression that is unable to push down lower, and you're seeing this stay as a theme within the market, right? So I'm gonna mark out that high volume area to this region. This region right here is a key level I'm watching, and this region is identifying seller absorption. And then here buyers pop in. We want to see how they react at that 6410 level. Now they move down even more, but then they get spoofed out, I'm pretty sure, right? Or we see a strong push of buyers that, yeah. Yeah, we saw a strong splurge of buyers come in. Now, as you can see, sellers did come back in again with passive orders, but then buyers ate that up as well. Didn't see anything here. I'll let you know when I took my trades, but there we saw selling pressure again. Nothing we can really take. We're still sitting within this range of 6405, 6415. We have no real direction as to where the market will go quite yet. And you can see this being a pattern on the footprint chart as well. Sellers trying to come in, they're unable to push price lower. Buyers trying to come in, they're unable to push price higher. We're sitting within the range. As you can see, absorption there, central absorption there. See a plethora of different times, but we come back down towards that 6405 region, and we're unable to break below once again, and buyers start to kick back in. Very boring price action today, I will say that. Ooh, but here, this might have been a potential area that we could have entered following our trading plan. Right around this 915 candle. I don't know if we didn't really see any seller absorption there. That was 6407. Yeah, we never come back towards that relative area. If we came back down to 6407.5, saw absorption there, or saw sellers being unable to break that and buyers creating a reaction, we likely could have taken longs targeting this 6414 region, because as you can see, it looks like it did move down by $1 or so. But yeah, these buyers come in. And these buyers start to come in aggressively as well. Would have loved to take some longs there, but opportunity did not present itself with quality. Now we're testing this upper 6415 region, and we do succeed in breaking it. So we're already, my mind is put in a perspective where I'm looking to potentially take longs because we broke out of this upper level. There is targets above 232 at 6425, and aggressive buying started kicking in and broke out of this initial range. And this was where I initially entered my first trade very soon here. I'll tell you when. That's a lot of passive selling. It was not close to there. It was somewhere late 9 o'clock, I believe. Yeah, after this. Saw buyers break above that region again. Oh, I swear I would have entered a long position here, but I think it was at 1050-ish. We're just gonna keep going forward. I'm pretty sure I saw absorption at this area and I wanted to enter lungs because I saw it. Yeah, it was around 9:45ish, around here actually. Oh yes, I think it was around here, right? So what we saw was that sellers did come in, a large selling aggressor, at this barrier, at this 6415 area, which was our previous seller location. Liquidity did flip and it looks like we saw potential seller absorption. So we enter longs. You get a late entry on such, and now we're trying to ride these longs until 6425. But what we failed to notice was that there are passive selling orders sitting at this region, and those passive selling orders are the same, if not a bit bigger, than these passive buyers. Doesn't mean that it's not going to get all the way up there. It rather means that there's less probability it's going to get there, and there's more things preventing it from getting up there. Because if buyers are unable to break through the 6420 area, then it's unlikely that we'll head up to the 6425 region. And and as you can see, we did not even have the opportunity to test that 6420 region. We simply started heading down and we got stopped out on this one. And then soon enough around here was where we took shorts, and I'll let you know when as well. Right around here, I believe. Was it there? It was there, yes. We took shorts around here, 10:05-ish, right? Yeah, right here. We saw sellers aggressively break through this region, and now passive sellers are following price down. What I like to call this phenomenon is passive aggressive flushing, right? We see passive orders get broken, we see aggressive orders flush price down, and we see more passive orders essentially flip this liquidity and help prevent price from heading higher to help continue pushing sellers lower. It's a clear phenomenon of seller strength, and when we saw this, we entered short. Once again, though, the conditions were not the greatest, looking at how there's passive buyers at the downside as well. But we did take it and we did write it down for a certain point until we started to see all these passive orders below that are holding sellers. Sellers are starting to have trouble breaking this region. And because sellers are having trouble breaking that region, we simply exited for the same amount that we lost in this previous trade, putting us break even on the day. And that's essentially it as to what we took Now, as you can see, the trade would have played out very nicely as sellers did come in extremely heavy. And I'm looking to see if maybe we could have caught a piece of the pie on the aggressive selling that did occur. But after this, yeah, we broke below that region aggressive, pushing down almost 20 other ticks. But here I definitely think potential shorts could have been made. We swept this region. We have this region. Ooh, I think this was the one that got spoofed out. Yeah, this was the one that got spoofed out. And then now buyers started coming in as you can start seeing some passive buyer aggression enter into the market. And now we're back into that position where we are sitting between large amounts of passive orders on either side, nothing significant, and we're having trouble finding direction again. Although we broke out pretty significantly towards the downside, there's nothing really telling us that we're going to continue towards the downside simply because we're coming back up above that 6405 region and we're coming back into that range. And as you can see, it's exactly what happened. We broke out a little bit above this range, then we broke out a little bit below this range, and we moved back into the range. It's a simple phenomenon of mean rebalance or mean reversion type plays. And as you can see, every single time, price just moved towards the other side of the range. But getting into 1030, there wasn't really much else we could take. Let's see. I don't think there was, yeah. Nothing else we really could have taken there. We're just sitting between passive orders without much volume. And because of that, realistically, this day should have been a either a winning day or a losing day. I don't think it should have been break even at all. First of all, remember those longs that we took? We took them around here, right? And we were in profit for a little bit, but think about it. Every time, look at what's been happening to price. This is where the footprint comes in extremely important. Large amounts of volume at this upper wick of this candle. We see potential buying get absorbed at this level. Next candle. Large volume near the highs. Buying tried to come in, was unable to. Sellers aggressive selling imbalances holding this level down. Here, again, buyers are unable to push above, sellers are coming in aggressively. Here, buyers tried to come in, as you can see there, very aggressive buying, but sellers came down below. But here, buyers came in with strength. But once again, this was a key sign of buyer absorption that should have told us that if we're in the longs, to get out of the longs. We saw large amounts of volume there, large buying delta, once again gotten absorbed. We see this clear pattern of lowering absorption, right? Every time we haven't been able to break the high of the prior wick, right? Haven't broke this upper wick, haven't broke this upper wick, haven't broke this upper wick, almost broke the upper wick, but haven't broke the upper wick. Next candle, see more buyer absorption there. See an aggressive flush of sellers that continues down and down. Ooh, 10:05 looks like I could have potentially taken a trade. I do think that there might have been something we could have taken there. And the reason I'm saying this is because we're seeing buyers come in at this region, unable to push through it, and then after that we saw selling come in. It's showing buyer aggression and buyer absorption. Let's see. Yeah, I mean that's in the 4 candle here. Maybe we could have taken it, right? We're not really struggling with any passive sellers in the market. We're rather getting eaten up by seller icebergs and aggressive selling participants in the market. And then price flushes down. How much does price flush down? It doesn't even flush down that much. That's why this candle has not made that much movement. Yeah, I honestly think we could not have entered there as well. So nothing there. But here, if we notice this trend, and if we notice that aggressive selling had come in, likely could have taken shorts here, even at 6414, right? 6414 in this candle. Let's say we did take those shorts at a better entry, right? Stop loss above these highs where we saw the absorption, so around 0.8, 0.75, so 0.9 would be sufficient. 17 takes stop loss. Where do we target? Well, initially we're targeting this lower 6405 level, 2 ticks above, so 6405.5. But then we see this passive market participant coming in around 6407.5, so we move it up to 6408, which still would have been a 1 to 6 risk to reward ratio, and it could have been an easily break-even trade, putting us to a 27 RR, but considering it, we should consider that 1 to 6 risk to reward ratio, and it did happen to play out very nicely. So how I think we need to play out these next few days is be very patient and do not enter any trades if it's not the best of the best. If we see a single opposing factor, like opposing passive liquidity, we should either exit when we're in a trade or don't take the trade at all. And we should be leveraging the footprint more to identify the reactions of and see how buyers or sellers are reacting, how aggressive buyers and sellers are able to perform at different levels. If they're able to break different levels, see how much they actually put into the market, how aggressive they were at a certain location, and leverage that to identify different points of interest and work from there. If you see something like this at a point of interest tomorrow, we might be able to take a reversal play. But definitely going to be looking forward to that. The retracement model has not been quite keen in this market, but the reversal model has been showing more success. But I will keep that in mind, and we'll see what I can leverage tomorrow and Friday to see how we can do. Friday, I'm going to be very iffy and careful of taking a trade simply because it was NFP day. It is NFP day on Friday. So definitely looking forward to see what we can do tomorrow and day after. And I guess I'll see you guys. Wait, before I conclude, if you have any questions, feel free to join the Discord server in the link in the description down below. Everything is completely free, and I truly believe you can get a thing or two out of it. Additionally, you can also leave a comment down below. And on top of that, if you want to learn how to use footprint charts, or not learn how to use footprint charts, if you want to know how to gain access to footprint charts and start using Orderflow for completely free, you can check out links in description for Bookmap livestream and our channel partner Addis, which is the software I'm using for the footprint chart. With the free plan, you can get, honestly, it has some of the best free functionality. You can get access to footprint chart within a 15-minute delay for futures. I think crypto might be real time, but not 100%. And yeah, it's honestly very user friendly. Highly recommend. But other than that, now I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for pre-market and later tomorrow for market analysis. So I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.